Hey guys, it's Mike Perna coming at you. Just wanted to give you a quick global, national, and then here in Metro Detroit real estate update. And again, if you're looking to buy, sell real estate, invest in real estate, whatever that looks like, don't hesitate to give me a ring directly at 248-714-0980. Email me at michaelperna@kw.com, Keller Williams, kw.com, or search for all the homes at thepernateam.com, right? All of those links are in there. Last thing before we move on, if you're considering becoming a real estate agent, go to rescholarship.com. We are in desperate need of great people just like you to help service our buyers and our sellers. All right, on with the show. We've got some exciting stuff. Watch out, this may be a long video, and that's why there's a lot of text involved as well, so you can kind of skim through. First things first, jobs report. October jobs report is out. 658,000 jobs were added to the economy, bringing unemployment down a full percentage point from 7.9% to 6.9%. What does that really mean? Let's dive into that a little bit and what it means to our real estate market here in Metro Detroit. What it means is people that are buying homes are also employed, right? Looking into the jobs report, right? If we look at our profession, our paid professionals like our service workers, our manufacturing, basically the higher dollar jobs out there right now are all operating at or below 5 to 5.5% unemployment. Now, economists believe that anything under an 8% unemployment rate is considered a great economy. On a global level, most countries actually operate somewhere between 10 and 20% unemployment on what they consider a normal everyday economy. A good example of that is like a Spain, a Portugal, and Italy. Those are typical between a 9 and 15% unemployment in a great economy, right? So us operating at or below 8% is awesome, and we're now below 7%. Professional services, manufacturing, those styling of jobs, very, very low unemployment, and also some of those guys are being fought over, especially in the engineering field by General Motors, Ford, Fiat, Chrysler. There is a true lack of electrical engineers here in Southeast Michigan. So if you're an electrical engineer and you're not in Southeast Michigan, it might be time to call GM and say, hey, what can you do for me? But anyway, moving on. Now, the bulk majority of the unemployment is still being made up by retail and restaurants. So those two have an unemployment rate of 19.2%. That's huge, and that skews the numbers way, way, way up. When that number is taken out, we are back down to a 5.3% unemployment rate, which again is considered a great economy, right? Moving on. Home values, home prices. Why are they soaring? What's going on and what's coming down the pipe next? That everything has to do with. So typically, and I'm going to talk about the election for a little bit. I'm not going to take a side, none of that stuff, but I will speak to it. Typically speaking, in the 4 to 6 weeks on a run up to an election, we see around an 8 to 10% decrease in number of homes sold. And that has been literally every presidential election from John F. Kennedy right up to 2016. This year's different. We've actually seen a 14% increase in homes sold in October this year as opposed to any sort of a decrease. Now, there was a little bit of a decrease because in September we saw a 22% increase in homes sold. So there's about an 8% decrease there off of the up, but it's still a 14% increase in number of homes sold in October. This spring that started in February, it really got a hiccup in April when home sales decreased by 1/3, 37%, a little bit more than 1/3. But ever since that moment, there has just been a run on real estate. And to be honest, I don't see this ending. And there's a couple of different factors that's contributing to it, right? One of them being, again, unemployment for the people that are buying homes and selling homes right now is very low, right? Two, people are looking to change their lifestyle with this whole new work from home environment. Now they're starting to say, okay, if I'm going to spend this amount of time here, especially if it's a dual work from home spouse situation, then I want this home because I'm spending so many more hours here. Or I want this home because of school from home. Or I want this yard or this whatever it is. Also, people not being as tied to a physical location for work as they were even 8 or 9 months ago is causing them to rethink and say, hey, maybe I can move a little further out and get a little more bang for the buck, right? So we're seeing a lot of that movement happen. Second, and just as important, from the last down market, so pre-2007, the average American moved every 6.8 years. Let's call it 7 years, right? So people would sell a home and then buy the next one roughly in 7-year cycles. That has been completely changed by that last recession. People are now spending an average of 11 years in their home before making that next move. What that means for real estate is a compression on the number of homes for sale, right? Essentially, 45% of all homes that would have been for sale each year of the last 10 have been taken out of the market. Literally, because if people are not moving, they're not putting their homes on the market. And that's super affecting the second and third home buyer range, because those guys are really just sitting tight instead of making that next up purchase here in Metro Detroit, right? So up to around 1.4 or 1.5 million, we have an extremely robust market. Above that, we're starting to flag a little bit, and times on market are going longer. One thing I do want to mention is year over year, as far as number of months of inventory, or essentially how long would it take to sell all of the homes on the multiple listing service, has dropped by 50% last October to this October. So last October, it was 4.3 months of inventory, which is still considered a seller's market. Very, very much so. Even keel markets start about 5 months to 7 months range, right? And then buyer's market is above 7 months of supply of inventory. 4.3 months 1 year ago. Today, 2.1 months. If not one home came on the market in Metro Detroit and Ann Arbor, every single home would be sold in every price range in 70 days. Period. That's fast. If you are considering a move, now is the time. We've got one third factor that's really pushing this market hard, and that's, typically speaking, it's a great time to be a buyer or a great time to be a seller, but it's not both. Right now it is, and that's because there's a third factor. So you have buyers, and that's one factor. You have sellers, that's one factor. You have a third factor, interest rates, right? So home values have gone up 8% so far this year. They'll probably end up between 12 and 15% up by the end of the year. That's the trajectory we're on. Now, with interest rates going from 4.25% about a year and a quarter ago, down to 3%, essentially is a 25% savings on interest rates. Think about it that way. More buyers are getting kicked into the market, pushed into the market, dragged into the market, because they're also starting to look at their rents and saying, holy heck, I can save $300, $400, $500 a month. So that's pushing that first-time home buyer crowd, those homes way up. And as those homes go up, all the other homes that are stacking up above it go up in value as well, right? As a seller, you can get more for your home now than you can pretty much ever, right? Not only have we recovered from the last down market, but we are 20 to 25% above it in a lot of communities in Metro Detroit and Ann Arbor, right? So it's a great time to be a home seller. It's very rare to be both. Now, one last thing I will mention for home buyers. If you are a home buyer, I strongly urge you to get into the market fast. And I know this can be frustrating because most properties are going multiple offer. Most properties most of the time, buyers are taking 2, 3, or even 4 offers to get one accepted on the house that they want. And it can be frustrating. But let's look at the alternative. If you turn over and rent for a year, right, and the trajectory of home values keep on going, right, and there's no indication that it won't, that $300,000 house today will be $345,000 to $355,000 1 year from today. And I can look at some good historical evidence to see that. So as an example, we ran through and took a look at some properties that had gone off the market unsold because they couldn't get the value a year ago, right? And there are a couple. There's one specific one that I was looking at that was on the market at $399. They went back on the market last month at $425, got multiple offers and sold at $440. So they could not sustain the value. The value wasn't there for them to get anywhere near the $399 or a buyer to make an offer a year ago, yet $60,000 higher. Well, $40,000 above that asking price, $60,000 above where the value was at that time, is that gap just over a year for that house in that community, right? My advice, guys, get into a property if you're renting. If you're considering an upsize, definitely make that move. Home values are only going up, and I see zero economic indicators for them to slow down or go down, okay? So again, guys, if you're looking to purchase, if you're looking to sell, give me a call anytime, 248-714-0980. Thank you again, and make it a great day.